Hello and welcome to Fit News. I'm your host, Jen Shaver, and joining me today is a special returning guest, Dr. Emlah Tubuo. Prior to earning her Doctor of Pharmacy degree from The Ohio State University College of Pharmacy, Dr. Tubuo earned a Bachelor of Science in Microbiology and a Master in Science in Molecular Biology from Chicago State University. She has lived and studied in both a developed country and the developing third world country of Cameroon. Her difficult early life experiences had an immense impact on her life perspective, heightening her desire to look deeply into the life of a career, both for herself and her patients, for a natural perspective. Dr. Emlah served as an ambulatory care pharmacist for Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, and as a pharmacist with Kroger. While living and working in her birth country of Cameroon, Emlah suffered from numerous preventable diseases such as malaria, typhoid fever, and dysentery, which kept her out of school several times. This gives her an intense respect for disease prevention and optimization of quality of life. Emlah is the recipient of numerous awards, including the 2018 Ohio Pharmacist Association Distinguished Young Pharmacist Award, the Ohio State University Josephine Sittler-Failer Alumni Award, which recognizes an alumnus who has made outstanding contributions to the community or professional service, and the 2020 Commitment to Care Top Women in Health, Beauty, and Wellness Award. Emlah's philosophy is centered around kindness. It is your body. Emlah's philosophy is centered around kindness. It is your body and your temple. There is no spare. And that kindness begins with being kind to your body. We all struggle, so we should remember to choose kindness always. Dr. Tubuo is here today to discuss some technology that can help people take control of their weight by understanding the numbers and not just those on a regular bathroom scale, because often that number does not tell the full story. Today, she is here to talk about the InBody scale. We know that body weight accumulation is an issue of concern for women of all ages, particularly those in midlife. In fact, according to recent evidence, 66.3% of American women ages 40 to 59 years old are classified as either overweight or obese. Obesity is a clinically important disease leading to severe complications along with healthcare costs. Lifestyle interventions play a key role in maintaining a healthy weight, particularly as we age due to the loss of lean muscle. It is that lean muscle that can help protect us from our fall risk and also maintain that healthy weight. Through technology provided by InBody Scale, we now have a tool to help us understand in-depth information regarding our lean muscle. Dr. Emlah, thank you for taking the time to join us once again on the Fit News podcast. Last time we chatted about vitamin D, which is so important, especially now that we are in fall, right? But today we're going to switch our focus to the InBody scale because this tool is, it's really quite remarkable.
It is. And I always want people to know, you just don't want to get a number. We want to think about what that number mean. And, as women, we have this love-hate, predominantly a hate relationship with the bathroom scale. So my goal is to have us really understand, the listeners of the podcast today, I just really want you to understand that, to move beyond the scale. Just go beyond that number on the scale.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it can fluctuate day to day, depending on a myriad of factors, depending on what you ate the day before, depending on what you drank, how you slept, the exercise you did.
Yeah.
And so that number alone is not it doesn't tell the full story.
Doesn't tell the full story, Jen. It doesn't tell the full story because there is no grand prize at the end of life,
right.
which says Jen weighed less than Emlah, so she gets the grand prize for life. Or Emlah weighed less than Jen, so she gets the grand prize. There is no grand prize. What we are looking for in life is fulfillment. What we're looking for in life is the ability to enjoy our lives. For me, it's the ability to spend time with my children and hopefully spend time with my grandchildren, play around, run with them, carry them, and enjoy my life and be able to carry out those activities of daily living well into my old age, not just increasing my lifespan, but increasing my health span.
Yep.
So
quality, right? Quality of
Yeah.
life years, not just quantity of life years, but the quality of those life years. Because who cares if you're 70, 80, or 90, if you're stuck sitting in a chair and can't move?
Yes, that's really what I want everybody to be thinking about: health span instead of lifespan. So in that lifespan, let us increase that quality. So I don't want to be hanging out with you when I'm 70, 80, 90 and just, institutionalized, needing all around care from somebody else to perform activities of daily living, or just like needing help to go to the bathroom. I want to be able to go to the bathroom by myself when I'm older, and just be able to use that strength. So the important thing I want everybody to be thinking about is that mobility, strength, energy levels, immune system, and organ function. And the number one predictor of this is muscle mass.
Yeah.
And we talk muscle mass a lot. And the number one thing that you can do to adjust your muscle mass is exercise. There's several things that you can do, little things, small, consistent steps that you can do, but the overall biggest predictor for changing muscle mass is exercise. And that is your field. And that's why I love our collaboration, because recently in the Journal of Post-Acute and Long-Term Care Medicine, they say muscle mass is a 10 times better predictor of aging and health than the BMI. I want us to erase the word BMI from our memories. I don't know how we're going to do that, but we need to erase that word BMI because it's not an accurate predictor of health at all. So it's just, we really need to focus on what's killing us. After 65 years, number one cause of death among older adults is falls.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Isn't that just weird? Like, just you some years down, it's going to be falls that will be the highest risk and highest chance of us ending up in the hospital. And when you end up in the hospital, there's a myriad of factors that just go in. Hospital acquired pneumonia, or there's community acquired pneumonia too, and everything else just goes downhill from there with that bone loss and that muscle mass. So we really, really want to think about all these facts. We think about your heart. People always think about, cardiovascular disease, but remember that your heart is a muscle. So if you're increasing muscle mass, you're also increasing muscle mass of your heart. You're giving your heart the strength to be able to pump right well into your old age. You're reducing cardiovascular disease when you increase muscle mass as you exercise more. We think of insulin resistance, one of the benefits of increasing muscle mass. Because think about it, your muscle uses glucose as its primary source of energy. So if you're exercising more, that muscle needs to use up some of that glucose. So as it's using that glucose, it's increasing your insulin sensitivity, so reducing your chances of insulin resistance.
Which is so big, is particularly in midlife women. And most of the time when we have that insulin resistance, we're also talking about that visceral fat, which is the most dangerous fat because it's surrounding those organs, right?
It is. So when you come to Power Pharmacy, I don't want you to step on a scale. I want you to step on the in-body machine. The in-body machine will be able to tell me your percent fat versus your percent muscle. It will be able to segmentalize this. Are they in my arms? Is it in my trunk and my legs? It will be able to tell me where I should spend my time, doing more strengthening activities, and how I repurpose my exercise. So that is, it's important to really look at your body, from the inside out. Like we get the total body composition analysis. It tells you your dry mass, your lean body mass. It tells you your hydration status. It also gives us a metabolic rate, a basal metabolic rate, which is really important. It just kind of helps, guide your food intake. And just it's a really comprehensive tool to be able to tell us, just by looking at the results, I can tell if you're right-handed or left-handed. It's that accurate. Because you think, writing with your right hand or just doing a little bit things, you develop more muscle in your right hand if you're right-handed, and you develop more muscle in your left hand if you're left-handed. So, and that's, just think about exercise. So I want people to demystify exercise by stepping on the in-body. 30 minutes of exercise a day, just something little as going on a walk. I live on this street, and to the end of the street here is literally a straight shot down. And if I just go down, it's 2 miles. And it's just easy, walk down there, and without putting in my head, before I realize I'm down there already. If you can just do that every day, that's going to build muscle mass. And the beautiful thing with the in-body machine is that once you step on it, it registers your phone number. That's going to be your personal ID. That's what we use. When you come and step on it again next month or the month after, you're able to see that, you know what, I'm working out with this personal trainer, or I've started exercising. Did I gain muscle mass or did I lose muscle mass? You're able to see a 0.1% increase in muscle mass to me is 10 times better than losing 5 pounds on the bathroom scale.
Right. And that's something I want to talk about, because I know that you have seen results in your clinic where you have had women come in. And let's talk about the different results, because I want to talk about, as you just started down the road of weight loss, and maybe, not losing as much weight, but gaining muscle. So let's talk about that and what you have seen.
So I have seen people come in and they're so excited because they started this medication, or they started this program, or they did something, and they lost 7 pounds, and they actually lost muscle mass. I cannot tell you how bad of an idea that is. As we lose muscle mass, we predispose ourselves to that falling, because as age 30, 40, our muscle mass, that your peak muscle mass is around age 40, very varying, a varying age for different people. But around 40 to 50, we start declining at a rate of about 1% every year. So if we don't do anything about it, by the time we're 65, 70, we would have lost a significant percent of our body mass. So just the muscle mass which we're losing every year, the only way to counter that, the only way to reverse that is physical activity. That's the biggest way to reverse that. So that way, when we have realized that, oh my goodness, we just got diagnosed with a chronic disease, we need to lose weight, or we're thinking about it, we want to make, New Year is coming, we're going to make New Year resolutions. The goal is not to lose weight. The goal is to gain muscle.
Right.
And as we gain muscle, some of that visceral fat is converted. As we lose that visceral fat, that is great, but we want to gain muscle in that process, because losing 10, 20, 30 pounds without gaining muscle, you're putting yourself at risk for falls, you're putting yourself at risk for osteoporosis early, you're putting yourself at risk for Alzheimer's, dementia. You're putting yourself at risk for diabetes. You're putting yourself at risk for several chronic illnesses, which we really are trying to instead stay away from.
Right.
So another result that we see is people actually losing just 1 or 2 pounds on the bathroom scale, but gaining a lot of muscle. That's what we're looking for.
Which goes back to the point of why the bathroom scale doesn't necessarily tell the full story, right?
Yes, I work with another trainer, and she goes, I want to take a hammer and just smash the bathroom scale. And I go, you're pushing it too far. But she goes, I really don't like it, because, my clients step on it and they get discouraged,
right.
And we don't want something that would discourage us. We want to surround ourselves with positive connections. You're able to look at the in-body and you're able to tell, all those minute changes, extremely accurate. It encourages you to go on this journey better, and you're able to gain more muscle as you focus on, it's the technology that it uses is bioelectrical impedance, so which is, very is non-invasive. you know, versus the DEXA scan that you would do if you more complex DEXA scan, which is way more expensive. But, you know, we just want to make sure that we are increasing muscle mass because we're trying to increase our motor function, you know, as we get older. Because as you exercise, you know, just the source, like just as when your muscle contracts as you're working out, that contraction actually produces, you know, neurotrophic factors in the body, especially brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And that's something which is very critical for cognitive decline, you know. So it kind of, yeah, it prevents that cognitive decline. So there's myriad of benefits to just knowing this number, about knowing how much muscle you have and what we can do to thank you. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for helping us create our muscle bundle at Power Pharmacy. So we have this, we just don't want to know the numbers. We want to know the number, how much muscle, you know, how is Emlah's muscle mass? How is my body composition? And what can I do to prevent disease? And what can I do to increase my muscle mass? So thank you for creating that muscle bundle, which we're sharing with our clients, and they're really appreciating it. Quick, easy, nice workouts you can do just at home to be your muscle. So I'm really appreciative of you for doing that for our clients. The clients that we've given that to already, they are very appreciative.
Oh, good. I mean, the idea is to, you know, change our mindset, I think, about getting on a scale, because, you know, as you mentioned, you know, I don't know of a single woman who says, hey, pick me, I want to get on the scale, right? But if we start to look at this scale not as something, you know, negative, but that's telling us a number that we need to know in terms of our muscle mass. And maybe if we even think of it as, hey, I want to get on that scale to see if the number went up, right? And that's a number that I want to see go up, and stop worrying about the other number, quote unquote, right? And let's just look at this muscle mass number. And that's the number I'm concerned with. And that's the number I want to see go up.
Yes. And I like when you say that. When you say that, it brings me to lifestyle medicine, which we say, you know, thinking of mind, body, soul. It brings to the mindfulness piece of it. You know, what I talk a lot about intentionality, and life is about growth. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Right.
The reason why we have this negative relationship, look at in the US, we have talked about health and weight and health and weight for several years, but we are increasing in morbidity, we're increasing in obesity every day, because we're talking about it from a negative perspective. We're looking to lose weight. Nobody wants to lose anything. Technically, from our human perspective, we want to gain, we want to grow, we want to earn, we want to connect, we want to increase. So life is about gaining, life is about growing, life is about connecting, life is about increasing. Life is not about losing. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose my food. I don't want to lose what I have. I don't want to lose my belongings. I want to gain something. So if we switch our perspective from losing weight to gaining muscle, it's a natural trigger for the human mind. So we're able to look at it with a positive aspect. We're looking, yes, I gained some muscle. You know, what can I do to gain more muscle? And as you're gaining that muscle, visceral fat is converted, and your body is able to use up that fat as fuel to build more muscle for you as you exercise. Because once we're exercising, we use up the glucose that is stored in our liver, we use up the glucose that is stored in our muscle, then we go now to adipose tissue and we use that up. And then, you know, once we use that up, as we're getting more, we're building more muscle in that case, and the body is happy, the mind is happy, and the brain is happy, and we increase the benefits are endless. So it's just switching that mindset and knowing that every single time, even if I'm doing arms and light weights for 10 minutes, even if I'm doing just, you know, a 5-minute exercise from the muscle bundle, my muscle, I am working on my health, I'm increasing my insulin sensitivity, I'm reducing my chances of insulin resistance, I am preventing cognitive decline, and reducing the risk of early onset Alzheimer's for myself and for my clients. So that's what I look at it primarily for myself. I step on the InBody every month just to check and see, and I would like my clients to use it. And I can't say enough about that. It doesn't cost them thousands of dollars that, major weight loss medications cost, so
Right,
yeah.
right. And, I mean, as I said, that number in the beginning, 66.3% of women between the ages of 40 and 59, I'm sorry, 66% are either overweight or obese, and that's a large number. And, so we have to think, well, geez, okay, they're probably not getting on a scale because they don't want to see the number. But that's why we're talking about this mindset shift, to get them to step on this scale, because this is what's going to get you started in the right direction. You need a starting point. And, if you are somebody that falls into that obese category and you're like, geez, I really don't want to get on a scale. You have to face it. You have to get on there. This scale will help you to understand more than what that bathroom scale tells you.
Yes, I don't care about what the bathroom scale tells you,
Right.
Because for the past few years, you just look at it and go, oh, I know, but what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
But do we really need to look at, that's beyond the bathroom scale? You have, when the result, the total body composition analysis, I have more than 20 different aspects on that result sheet that we can look at. And there are lots of positives on there. And there are things that we can do, very minute changes, and be able to see positive impact on our health. And once you see, it's, like a rolling stone. Once you kick it going downhill, it starts gathering steam and going down. As you start using your muscles even just a little bit, it starts feeling easier and better to use. And you start feeling better. You start, as you exercise a little bit, endorphins get released, all those great neurotransmitters, all the serotonin and dopamine that we need. And then it forces us again to do more.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. The fat burning cycle is triggered once you start exercising. And once you have that mindset of gaining, winning, and growing instead of losing, which the human mind doesn't want to lose anything. That's why we hold on to stuff, because we don't want to. And that's for your body, same to your cells holding on to fat because they don't want to lose,
Mm-hmm.
But if you're switching to muscle energy burning, your body's burning all this energy into exercise, it's easier to do. It's easier to trigger that start. The in-body scale is a tremendous. To me, it's my favorite. It's the favorite aspect that we have in the pharmacy right now. And every woman needs to step on it. Every woman needs to step on the in-body scale and see how much muscle they have, come back in a month and see how much muscle they have. So that is, it's tremendous. It gives you great insight into your body. We don't want to just go and take a pill. We want to understand what's happening in our body and see what we can do with lifestyle to change that.
Right.
What
Right.
change that with
Right.
our daily life.
Right, because the lifestyle factors play a key role. And, again, we're stepping on this monthly to see what we have gained, right? This is the scale that we want to get on.
Yes.
To make sure that we have gained muscle. And so
Gained.
that's why we shouldn't be afraid of getting on it. We should be excited to get on that and see, did I gain this month? Did I gain some muscle this month?
We love it. So at the pharmacy, what we're doing is that when anybody comes and they have gained muscle, we have one of my technicians is a DJ. We play a little fun song and we dance to it because we're growing, right? As women, we're celebrating each other. That positive social connection, again, which is a very foundational pillar of lifestyle medicine, which we often ignore. We need each other. I need you to cheer for me when I gain a little bit of muscle, and I need to cheer for you when you gain some muscle. And that's how we're going to grow together. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. So Emlah, let's talk about, first we'll talk about what you are offering at the pharmacy. And then for those of our listeners that maybe are not in town, what they could kind of go in their area and look for.
Absolutely. So if you're not, I'll start with people who are not local to us in Powell here. So if you're not local to Powell or Columbus area, you can go to the InBody USA website. And I will send you the link so you can post when you share the podcast information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they can go to this website and put in their zip code and it will show them an InBody machine close to them.
Okay.
So, and they can be able to go there and get their in-body. So any place that has an in-body machine, they're able to interpret the results for them. But people local to Powell, Dublin, Lewis Center, all around Columbus, they're welcome to come to the pharmacy at any time and measure their muscle mass composition. So I'm so excited about this. And we have we're starting our Revitalize program, which is now an 8-week program, which will help with intentional lifestyle changes, and we have people on this program. We have the first cohort, they're graduating now, and they're going to be mentors to the second cohort. And it's going to be so beautiful. It's just a wonderful community of ladies who are intentionally taking very small, consistent steps in the direction of their lifestyle goals, so it's beautiful change, from the mindset, restful sleep, just increase positive social connections, exercise. We just meet at the park and walk together, and we're able to do the exercises that you provided for us at home, and just building muscle and seeing how much muscle we gain. We all celebrate when one person gains muscle. It's all about gaining, not about losing here. So as we gain muscle, we subconsciously lose that weight. So the priority is not on losing that weight, but we eventually gain muscle and that weight is lost. So we have that. So I will send you information about Revitalize if anybody's interested in that. We have people, just to tell you one quick story about this weight loss. We have a lady in the first cohort who has tried to lose weight. She has not lost weight in the past 6 years. She has gained weight consistently over the past 6 years. She said the last time she lost weight was 6 years ago, and she's looking to lose weight. And I said, talk to me about you. If you could change something in your life, what would that be? And tears just start rolling down her eyes. And I said, what is the matter? She goes, I was just recently told that I was type 2. I was diabetic. And my fasting blood sugar was 131. So to give you a perspective, fasting blood sugar should be less than 100. So if you fasted for about 9 hours, your fasting blood sugar should be less than 100. That means your body is able to convert all that glucose into glycogen and into fat to store it away. But this lady's fasting blood sugar was 131. So she enrolled in the Revitalize program. And 1 month into the Revitalize program, her fasting blood sugar was 115. And I am happy to report today that she tested last week and her fasting blood sugar is 94. I cannot count the number of Kleenex that I had to hand to her. And she was crying nonstop. It was just rolling down. And it's just tears of joy. And it's just the fact that we are able to increase muscle and then reduce that insulin resistance. Now her body, because her muscle is able to use up that glucose faster and better. There's no glucose hanging around her body to glycate her red blood cells. So her A1C has dropped, her fasting blood sugars have dropped. So it is, to me, that is the goal of this machine. When you step on the in-body and are able to utilize those numbers to change somebody's life like that, that is really ideal.
Right. Right. That is amazing. Congratulations to you and to her.
Yes, we're very proud of her. Yes. So looking for more ladies to coach and guide through this. And so there will be, if enrolling in the Revitalize program, or just if you don't want to do the Revitalize, you could just come step on the in-body. And everybody who is for the Fit for Life program, so they will come in and use the in-body. So I'm very excited about this. Yeah.
Good. Well, Emlah, we appreciate your time today, and thank you for joining us to chat about all that the in-body scale has to offer us women as our new preferred scale to step on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No to the bathroom scale. Go beyond the bathroom scale. That's the line.
Love it. All right. Thank you for listening to the Fit News podcast, and we will catch you next time.